Hello and welcome to the Oxygen Kingdom. I'm the King's Mage. Been designing a few things, but one thing I want to do right now is figure out how to get further down and discover some new things. There's all kinds of interesting things so far. I may have even discovered the center of this particular asteroid. I don't think we're going to go there because I'm detecting it's extremely hot. I did, however, find another geyser, one here that's buried. I'm curious what that is. And a second one over here, it's outputting, I believe, salt water. Very hot temperatures, like similar to what we have over in this vent. I'm really hoping this geyser here will be something a bit more useful. The only issue is, it's a lot of carbon dioxide we've got to get through. I discovered the ancient world used to use oxygen masks. We used masks too during the plague, but this one actually stores oxygen, which is really neat. I've got to figure out how to build it. Didn't take long to research oxygen masks, but now I need to pump oxygen in them. I think I've got a good way of doing that using this gas reservoir and a sensor. While I do the research, the rest of the team tries to build a stable for this Draco. Might have some very interesting resources we'll be able to get out of that. The blacksmith was actually concerned about the amount of electrical magic that's going through this circuit. So what they did, they built a second transformer and they cut that line. So we actually have two of these magical lines going. Really exciting. We've just turned on our new oxygen filtration system. So it's got a gas reservoir that's filling up with oxygen. Eventually it's going to be making its way to our new gas masks, the bottom of the kingdom. The kingdom has a new production facility where gas masks are being produced. The miller starts their work. We've got some docks for those gas masks to go. The first one is being charged up with oxygen. First Draco gets a trimming. That's producing some of that reed fiber. They're also in the stable, so we're expecting to get more eggs from them. The first gas masks are used, and it's working really well. We can actually get down to the carbon dioxide and be able to breathe and work at the same time. This is going to be very helpful. We're really getting close to this new geyser. Curious what it's going to be. I've upped my skills to get the ability to use a virtual planetarium. Just don't have time to build one just yet, but I'm be very curious to see what it looks like. The new geyser has been dug out, and I'm so excited about it. It's outputting cool temperatures instead of really hot temperatures. This is going to be so much more useful. We put in some gas masks near the teleportation equipment. We want to go explore this new biome that seems to have ocean water in it. I've got plans for a new kitchen, including a deep freezer. So I decided to have the power plant move down over here. King's happy with this because that means some of the heavy wires that he doesn't like is out of his view. We find these creatures actually regrow their scales when they're in hydrogen. So of course we're going to dump some hydrogen in their stable. We found a second one of these fluffy critters and put them in our stable. There's concern the hot sea geyser is going to make things way too hot for us, so we seal that one off. Work begins on the kingdom's new kitchen and deep freezer. The polluted water that's from this geyser is producing a lot of polluted oxygen. If I clean that up, this might actually be a really good source for oxygen. I'm going to build a pump. Normally in the castle, the cook would have to send servants way down the lower levels to the cold room. Now with Auto Sweeper and this deep freezer, we're not going to have to do that anymore. Life is getting a little bit better on this asteroid. Exploring this asteroid is so exciting. We've got a new gas mask station because we want to go north of our kingdom. But there's lots of hydrogen we have to get through, and that's not breathable. These gas masks are proving to be very useful to us. With the gas mask proving so successful, I decided to do research on something that may even be better than a gas mask. The king was complaining about breathing last night, so we decided we need a gas vent to output some oxygen to make it really easy for them to sleep. This is the most fascinating thing that I've ever seen. So our kitchen is set up. We've got our deep freeze, and the whole basis of this is this hydrogen. This little guy over here, it's called a thermoregulator, according to the ancient texts. It actually pushes in really cool temperatures. Apparently one of the best gases to use, as the old text mentions, hydrogen. So many tornadoes goes through here, pushes gas in that gets cooler and cooler. If this actually works, we'll have a frozen area for our food. I just had to disable this Atmosuit dock. I was planning on having hydrogen in here. Well, I still am. And this is where all the Draco eggs are going to be. And we're going to be able to shave them. I really wanted to make Atmosuit here, but the king's not letting me. Reason for it is I told them to make Atmosuits, we need some reed fiber. And then he asked me, what else can you make from reed fiber? I said, well, we can make snazzy snoots for all of us. It won't just be you. He said, all right, sure, what else? I said, there's also this comfortable carpeted tiles. Guess what we're building now? The king also demands more artwork around to look at. I probably shouldn't tell him about paintings because that could take up some of our reed fiber. But we could probably distract him with some sculptures. Notice water is getting low in our spot where we're pulling that out. We'll have to start to look for another source pretty soon. The cook takes some time to actually do some carving next to where the king's gonna eat. I guess if they make some bad food, the king might be distracted by decorations, which may save the cook. The king is thrilled. He has a decorative area to sleep in and some comfortable carpet tile to wake up to. I asked the cook about the decorations and they said, well, it's just some creature they saw in a dream. They also have a very decorative and comfortable area to eat at as well. With my magic, I try some more conjuring. This time I bring over a new critter. This one looks pretty cute. I wonder what it does. That new critter I conjured ends up being very disruptive. The king orders it to be caged up. The herald goes and puts the new critter in a cage, where it'll be less disruptive to us. All the waste from the washroom and the showers is really backing up, so I come up with a plan to actually clean that out. It's something that's called a water sieve that's going to help us. We start to dig out a new area to treat all the sewage. We discover another one of these brain-altering machines. I wonder who the king is going to get to go this time. Time to try my conjuring skill once again. I create some eggs this time. I actually haven't seen that cat-like critter for a while. So maybe we'll get some of them again. The king chose the herald to sit in the chair this time. They also get strong. We find a really interesting creature. Seems to output some polluted oxygen. I'm curious if there's any more of these chairs. Every time someone sits on it, they get stronger. The guard did, now the herald. We start off trying to create a vacuum in this area because I need to get pure chlorine to expose our sewage to it. Fortunately, we've got lots of chlorine down here to be able to bring in. It feels really strange to have to clean our sewage. I guess that's because we're on a tiny asteroid. Back home, we have a massive planet with a huge ocean. We can just dump all the sewage there, and it doesn't matter how big our kingdom gets. As I watch chlorine pour into the pump, I notice some very strange activity. Volcanoes. Gold volcanoes. I didn't know such a thing could exist. I don't brief the king just yet because he might want us to go in there, and it's pretty hot. With a vacuum now in there, it's time to bring in the chlorine. Things are actually looking pretty nice on this asteroid. I decide to use some magic to bring over another person from the old kingdom. I bring over the Weaver. They spend their time producing clothes back home. We don't have enough reed fiber for the moment. Eventually they can get us some nice clothes. They're pretty good with strength, and they're very fast on their feet. With chlorine in this room, we can start pushing in some of our waste. And we've got a water sieve. Once we get rid of the food poisoning, that's going to then convert polluted water to just regular water, which I hope we are not going to get sick when we drink. While digging, we found a new plant. The king decided he wanted that in the showers, so we would make it smell really nice in there. I catch up with the Weaver and find out about the old kingdom. Apparently everyone's alright. The only thing is, there's constant earthquakes, and the sun never comes out because there's clouds covering everywheres. I suspect crops are gonna fail. I know the king has good storage of food. Should last them a while. Our deep freeze is in operation. All the food that's here is gonna last forever. I so wish this existed on the old kingdom though. It would make life easier for them. Let's build a really big kingdom here so that I can bring everyone else over here to survive. Well, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Also, thanks anyone for liking this video and any other video. It means a lot. Hopefully, I will see you in the next video where we'll continue on. Until then.